and today we are discussing our third canto, chapter 27, text number 2. Yesterday we took text number 1, where we discussed about the purity of the jiva, that if the jiva does not claim the proprietorship over material nature, then jiva remains unaffected by the modes of material nature. Okay. Second shloka will talk about the contamination of jiva. So 1 to 5, from first shloka to the fifth shloka, the topic is the jiva in the conditioned state, how jiva comes in the conditioned state. So let's see what is the second shloka. Let's read. Saesha yarhi prakarter guneshwa abhivisajjate अहंक्रिया विमूढ़ात्मा कर्तास्मीति अभिमन्यते. सायेष यरहि प्रकृतेर गुणेषु अभिविशजते अहंक्रिया विमूढ़ात्मा कर्तास्मीति अभिमन्यते. सायेष यरहि प्रकृतेर गुणेषु अभिविसज्जते अहंक्रिया विमूढ़ात्मा कर्तास्मीति अभिमन्यते. Saha, that very living entity, Eshaha, this, Yarhi, when, Prakrti of material nature, Guneshwa, in the modes, Abhivisajjate, is absorbed, Ahankriya, by false ego, Vimudha, bewildered, Atma, the individual soul, Karta, the doer, Asmi, I am, Iti, thus, Abhimanyate, Iti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ji, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When the soul is under the spell of material nature and false ego, identifying, so when the soul is under the spell of material nature and false ego, what it does, identifying his body as the self, identifying body as the self, that I am the body. Yesterday we discussed in detail, I am the body, I am this. How we know? I am Indian, I am boy, I am Hindu. So these identities are saying that I consider that I am the body. He becomes absorbed in material activities, and by the influence of false ego, he thinks that he is the proprietor of everything. So previous shloka we discussed how he is everything, how he is proprietor. Previous shloka it was told that because he claims that he is proprietor, he gets affected. Okay, if he does not claim, he will not get affected by material modes of by the modes of material nature. Now he is saying that identifying his body as the self, he becomes absorbed because he thinks I am body, I am Indian, so he becomes Indian activities. He becomes absorbed in material activities, and by the influence of false ego, this is the false ego. False ego means false identity basically. Okay, this is a false ego. He thinks that he is the proprietor of everything. He thinks that I am the proprietor. Yesterday we were discussing the example that everybody thinks, and some people writes under their shop name proprietor. That is there. The feel is there that I am the proprietor. Everything belongs to me, and that is the false thing. Actually, everything belongs to Krishna. So the point here is that when the jiva in waking and dream state becomes absorbed in the gunas of prakriti, bewildered by ego, he thinks that he is the doer. So this is a line, ahankriya vimudhatma kartasmite vimanyate. Similar line is there in Bhagavad Gita, ahankara vimudhatma kartahamiti manyate. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Summary is contamination. Actually, the conditioned soul is forced to act under the pressure of the modes of material nature. Conditioned soul is forced to act under the pressure of the modes of material nature. Three gunas, satoguna, rajoguna, tamoguna. Yesterday I told that because he is in the grip of Maya, material nature, so how Maya binds? By three gunas. So that pressure is there. So he has to act under this force, under this pressure of material nature. So the living entity has no independence. When he is under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is free. The living entity has no independence because his living entity is under the grip, under the control of material nature. So when he is under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is free. But when under the impression that he is, so when he is free when he is under the direction of Krishna. Means he takes Krishna as his master. He voluntarily surrenders to Krishna. Surrender to Krishna means voluntarily, not by force. That is true. Because by force anyway he is controlling you by the agency of Maya. You can see, Jiva cannot become free. That is true. So Krishna, he is to either under control of Maya or control of Krishna. So Krishna's control, accepting Krishna's control is a voluntary process. Krishna will not force you, because anyway indirectly he is controlling everyone. He is the controller. Bhoktaram yagatapsam sarvaloka maheshwaram. Okay, so when he is under the direction of Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he is free actually. So by voluntarily accepting Krishna's control over us, we become actually free. Okay, taking shelter of Krishna is the actual meaning of liberation, is the actual freedom. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that when Jiva is under the direction of Krishna, he is free. But when under the impression that one impression is that my Krishna is my Supreme Lord, I am his servant. Another impression can be that I am satisfying my senses. And thinking that he engages in sense gratificatory activities, he is actually under the spell of material nature. In Bhagavad Gita it is said, Prakrite kriyamanani. One acts according to the particular modes of material nature he has acquired. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. One acts according to the particular modes of nature he has acquired. So in the spell of material nature, one acts according to the modes. So somebody may have this much of tamoguna, this much of rajoguna, and very tiny satoguna. So according to this mixture, he will act. Different level of sato, rajo, tamo a person may have different level. So guna refers to the quality of nature. So he is under the qualities of nature, but he falsely thinks that he is the proprietor. He is under the control of nature, but he thinks that he is the controller, he is the proprietor. That's why it is called Maya. Actually you are not controller, but you think you are controller, that's why it is Maya. Illusion. So this false sense of proprietorship can be avoided simply by engaging oneself in devotional service under the direction of the Supreme Lord or his bona fide representative. Okay, he is the Prabhupada is saying that how can we avoid this sense of proprietorship, that I am the proprietor, I am the controller. For that, what is the solution? Solution is engaging oneself in devotional service. Okay, but engaging oneself in devotional service, but how we will engage? Under the direction of Supreme Lord. Okay, without the direction of Krishna or spiritual master. Okay, either Krishna's direction we should have, or either we should have direct instruction or shelter of a spiritual master. Okay, that is what Krishna is, Srila Prabhupada is saying, that one can get out of this, or one can avoid this false sense of proprietorship. How? By engaging oneself in devotional service under the direction of the Supreme Lord or his bona fide representative. So that is very important. Sometimes some people think, okay, this is not important, I can directly fight. Some people think that, oh, I can alone do this, that, no need of a spiritual master, because having a spiritual master does not mean just having, means following what he says. That is very tough thing. Just living our life according to someone else is very tough thing in this world. Okay, living according to someone else, what he says you have to do. What is this? People will say, अरे मेरा कोई इच्छा नहीं है क्या? If I am also human, I will have my own desire. That's what. Taking shelter, this is very important. Taking shelter of Krishna or taking shelter of Guru means Guru's desire is my wish. What he desires, that what I will do. Okay. Okay, further. One second. Okay, let's see. So further, Srila Prabhupada is saying that in Bhagavad Gita, okay, Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita was trying to accept for himself the responsibility for killing his grandfather and teacher in the fight, but he became freed from that proprietorship of action when he acted under the direction of Krishna. So when the action was to fight and to kill, so he was taking the proprietorship of that action. That's why he was in problem. Okay, but when he became freed from the proprietorship of action and he acted only because it was the desire of Krishna, so he became freed. How he became freed of this propriety? Because what Krishna is saying, let's see, my duty is what Guru is saying, I will do that. That is easy. There is no proprietorship. And when there is no proprietorship, there is no control of three modes upon me. It's easy. So Arjuna fought, but he was actually freed from the reactions of fighting. He didn't get the reaction. Although in the beginning, when he was non-violent, unwilling to fight, the entire responsibility was upon him. See, when he was saying that I will not fight, non-violence and this, that time the responsibility was upon him. Even though if he does not fight, he will not do his duties. So he will get the reaction. Now even though he killed, but he killed under the direction of Krishna, so he did not get any reaction. So you see, here violence became more beneficiary than the non-violence. Non-violence is giving you reaction of karma, and violence is giving you freedom. But why? Because this violence is directed by Krishna. That's the difference here. Okay, that's why we should not do anything by our own. And always we should ask from Guru what we should do, what I am supposed to do. Okay. So that is the difference between liberation and conditioning. Working under the direction of Krishna, liberation. Okay, and working as sense with the sense of proprietorship, then it results in conditioning. So a conditioned soul may be very good and act in the mode of goodness, but still he is conditioned under the spell of material nature. So he may be doing very nice activity under the mode of goodness, but still he is under the grip, under the spell of Maya. So a devotee, however, acts completely under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Thus his actions may not appear to be of a very high quality to the common man, but the devotee has no responsibility. So this is the common man thing. Arey, what kind of devotee is he? He is not doing this, he is doing this, what is it? But he is actually working under the direction of Guru and Krishna. So he is far better than the so-called good activities. Okay. Next sloka. Now next sloka is about transmigration. तेन संसार पदवीं अवशो अभ्येते अनिवृतः प्रासंगिकै कर्म दोषै सद असन्मिश्र योनिषु. तेन संसार पदवीं अवशो अभ्येति अनिवृतः प्रासंगिकै कर्म दोषै सद असन्मिश्र योनिषु. तेन संसार पदवीं अवशो अभ्येति अनिवृतः प्रासंगिकै कर्म दोषै सद असन्मिश्र योनिषु. Teno, by the samsara of repeated birth and death, padavim, the path, avashaha, helplessly, abhyeti, he undergoes, anivrittaha, discontented, prasangikai, resulting from association with material nature, karma doshai, by faulty actions, sat, good, asat, bad, mishra, mixed, yonishu, in different species of life. The conditioned soul therefore transmigrates into different species of life, higher and lower, because of his association with the modes of material nature. Unless he is relieved of material activities, he has to accept this position because of his faulty work. So what it is, this shloka is saying that the conditioned soul therefore transmigrates into different species of life, from one life to another, from one yoni to another, higher and lower. Sometimes becomes higher body like Devtas, Gandharvas or something. Sometimes goes to animal body. Why? Because of his association with the modes of material nature. Because he is associating with the modes of material nature. Unless he is relieved of material activities, he has to accept this position because of his faulty work. Unless he is relieved of material activities, he has to accept this position of his faulty work. He has to get the reaction. Okay. Due to the reason of feeling of the ego. What is the ego? That I am the doer. I am the doer. Because of this feeling only, the jiva, through its relationship with the body, does both the actions of punya and papa, sinful activities and pious activities. So jiva gets affected through the result of these actions and becomes unhappy when the reaction comes. So these results of actions also makes it attain the bodies, next bodies, which are the best of the middle order or the lowest category of birth. So he gets the reaction of. So this shloka is telling the cause of the transmigration. So Prabhupada is saying that here the word karma dosha means by faulty actions. So this refers to any activity, good or bad, performed in this material world. They are all contaminated, faulty actions because of material association. Karma dosha means faulty actions, by faulty actions. That means any activity, whether it is good activity, pious activity, or it is bad, and that means sinful activity. If it is performed in this material world, they are all contaminated, faulty actions because of material association. So the foolish conditioned soul may think that he is offering charity. Now this is important. A foolish conditioned soul may think that he is offering charity by opening hospitals for material benefit or by opening an educational institution for material education. But he does not know that all such work is also faulty because it will not give him relief from the process of transmigration from one body to another. It is clearly stated here, Sad Asan Mishra Yonishu. Clearly mentioned here, Sad Asan Mishra Yonishu. This means that one may take birth in a very high family or he may take his birth in a higher planets among the demigods for his so-called pious activities in the material world. Okay, so whether it is pious activity or sinful activities, both has reaction. But this work is also faulty because it does not give liberation. So one may go to the heavenly planet among the demigods, but no liberation. So to take birth in a nice place or a higher family does not mean that one avoids undergoing the material tribulations, the pangs of birth, death, old age and disease. He cannot avoid that. So a conditioned soul under the spell of material nature cannot understand that any action he performs for sense gratification is faulty. He cannot understand, and that only his activities in devotional service to the Lord can give him release from the reaction of faulty activities. So unless he does a devotional service, he cannot get free, he cannot get release from this reaction of his faulty action, because he does not cease such faulty activities, because he is not stopping. He has to change to different bodies, he has to go to another body, sometime higher body and sometime lower body. So that is called Sansara Padavim, which means this material world. So from which there is no release, he keeps rotating in this cycle. So one who desires material liberation, that means getting out of this cycle, then he has to turn his activities to devotional service. There is no alternative. ठीक है? So that's the important shloka here. Next shloka, fourth. Now fourth shloka is about the doer mentality. Okay, first shloka was about the purity of jiva, second was about the contamination, and third was about the transmigration, and fourth is about the doer mentality. And the fifth shloka will tell about the solution of all this. Fourth shloka. अर्थे हि अविद्यमानेऽपि संसृतिर्ना निवर्तते ध्यायतो विषयान् अस्य स्वप्ने अनर्थागमो यथा. अर्थे ही अविद्यमानेपि, अर्थे हि अविद्यमानेपि संसृतिर्न निवर्तते, ध्यायतो विषयान् अस्य स्वप्ने अनर्थागमो यथा। अर्थे हि अविद्यमानेपि संसृतिर्न निवर्तते, ध्यायतो विषयान् अस्य स्वप्ने अनर्थागमो यथा। अर्थे real cause, he certainly, avidyamane not existing, api although, samsritihi the material existential condition, na not, nivartate does cease, dhyayatah contemplating, vishayan objects of the senses, asya of the living entity, swapne in a dream, anartha of disadvantages, agamaha arrival, yatha like. Actually a living entity is transcendental to material existence, but because of his mentality of lording it over material nature, his material existential condition does not cease, and just as in a dream he is affected by all sorts of disadvantages. Okay, so and in actuality living entity has nothing to do with this material existence, it's transcendental, but because of his mentality, what mentality? That I am the Lord, I am the doer, I am the proprietor. Because of this mentality of lording it over material nature, his material existential condition does not cease, he keeps continuing existing in this material world. Like in a dream, he is affected by all sorts of disadvantages. Okay, so the example of a dream is very appropriate. Due to different mental conditions, in dreams we are put into advantageous and disadvantageous positions. Similarly, the spirit soul has nothing to do with this material nature, but because of his mentality of lording it over, he is put into the position of conditional existence. Conditional existence is described here as dhyayato vishyanasya. Vishya means an object of enjoyment. As long as one continues to think that he can enjoy material advantages, he is in conditioned life. But as soon as he comes to his senses, he develops the knowledge that he is not the enjoyer, for the only enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, he is the beneficiary for all the results of sacrifice and penances. Bhoktaram yagya tapsam sarva, and he is the proprietor of all the three worlds. Sarvalok Maheshwaram. So he is the actual friend. Surdam sarva bhutanam, he is the actual friend of all living entities. But instead of leaving proprietorship, enjoyment and the actual position as the friend of all living entities to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we claim that we are not we are leaving actually that, and then what we are doing, we are claiming that we are the proprietors, we are the enjoyers, and we are the friends. So we are trying to become Krishna, that means. So we perform philanthropic work thinking that we are the friends of human society. This is the things you see, this Krishna saying I am the friend of everyone, but a person who does this philanthropic work thinks I know I am the doer, I am the friend of everyone, human society. So someone may proclaim himself to be a very good national worker, the best friend of the people and of the country, but actually he cannot be the greatest friend of everyone. The only friend is Krishna. One should try to raise the consciousness of the conditioned soul to the platform of understanding that Krishna in his what we should understand, that Krishna is his actual friend. So this we should understand, that our actual friend is Krishna. So if one makes friendship with Krishna, one will never be cheated and he will get all help needed. Arousing this consciousness of the conditioned soul is the greatest service, not posing oneself as a great friend of another living entity. The power of friendship is limited. Arousing this consciousness of the conditioned soul is the greatest service, not posing oneself as a great friend of another living entity. The power of friendship is limited. Although one claims to be a friend, he cannot be a friend unlimitedly. There can be an unlimited number of living entities, and our resources are limited. Therefore, we cannot be of any real benefit to the people in general. The best service to the people in general is to awaken them to Krishna consciousness, so that they may know that the supreme enjoyer, the supreme proprietor, and the supreme friend is Krishna. Then this illusory dream of lording it over material nature will vanish. Voktaram yajnatapsam sarvalok maheshwaram Surdam sarvabhutanam shantim gyatva shantim richati. Okay, so this is the solution, that people should serve Krishna and awaken their Krishna consciousness, and to understand and believe and know that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, Krishna is the supreme proprietor, and Krishna is the supreme friend. Okay, fifth shloka, and this is the last shloka for this section. So fifth shloka, Lord Kapila is telling about the solution. Okay. Ataeva शनैश्चित्तं प्रसक्तम् असतां पथि भक्ति योगेन तीव्रेण विरक्तया च नयेद्वशम् अतएव शनैश्चित्तं प्रसक्तम् असतां पथि भक्ति योगेन तीव्रेण विरक्तया च नयेद्वशम्. अतएव शनैश्चित्तं प्रसक्तम् असतां पथि भक्ति योगेन तीव्रेण विरक्तया च नयेद्वशम्. अतएव, therefore, shanai, gradually, chittam, mind, consciousness, prasaktam, attached, asatam, of material enjoyments, pathi, on the path, bhakti yogena, by devotional service, tivrena, very serious, viraktaya, without attachment, cha, and nayet, he must bring vasham, under control. Okay, translation. Okay, so it is the duty of every conditioned soul to engage his polluted consciousness, which is now attached to material enjoyment. Our consciousness is polluted, and it is why? Because it is attached to material enjoyment. So what is our duty? Our duty is to engage our consciousness in very serious devotional service with detachment. So in this way, our mind and consciousness will be under full control. So the process of liberation is very nicely explained in this verse. The cause of one's becoming conditioned by material nature is his thinking himself the enjoyer, the proprietor, or the friend of all living entities. Why one is bound under this material nature? Because one thinks he is the enjoyer, he is the proprietor, and he is the friend of all living entities. So this false thinking of a result of this false thinking is a result of contemplation on sense enjoyment. So when one thinks that he is the best friend to his countrymen, to society, or to humanity, and he engages in various nationalistic, philanthropic, and altruistic activities, all that is just so much concentration on sense gratification. This is all centered around sense gratification. So the so-called national leader or humanist does not serve everyone. He serves his senses only. That is a fact. But the conditioned soul cannot understand this because he is bewildered by the spell of material nature. So it is therefore recommended in this verse that one engage very seriously in the devotional service of the Lord. This means that one should not think that he is the proprietor. One should not think that he is the proprietor, he is a benefactor, friend or enjoyer. He should always be cognizant that the real enjoyer is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the basic principle of Bhakti Yoga. This is the basic principle. One must be firmly convinced of these three principles. One should always think that Krishna is the proprietor, Krishna is the enjoyer, and Krishna is the friend. These three things one should always know. One should always be convinced on this. Not only should he understand these principles himself, but he should try to convince others and propagate Krishna consciousness. As soon as one engages in such serious devotional service of the Lord, naturally the propensity to falsely claim lordship over material nature disappears. As soon as one engages in such serious devotional service of the Lord, naturally the propensity to falsely claim lordship over material nature disappears. That detachment is called vairagya. Instead of being absorbed in so-called material lordship, one engages in Krishna consciousness. That is control of consciousness. Controlling of consciousness. How? By engaging consciousness in Krishna consciousness. One engages in Krishna consciousness. This is called control of consciousness. The yoga process necessitates controlling the senses. Yoga indriya sanyamaha. Since the senses are always active, their activities should be engaged in devotional service. One cannot stop their activities. If one wants to artificially stop the activities of the senses, his attempts will be a failure. Even the great yogi Vishwamitra, who was trying to control his senses by the yoga process, fell victim to the beauty of Menka. So there are many such instances. Unless one's mind and consciousness are fully engaged in devotional service, there is always the opportunity for the mind to become occupied with desires for sense gratification. See, Prabhupada is saying that unless one's mind and consciousness are fully engaged in Krishna's service, there is always the opportunity for the mind to become occupied. Always their mind can become occupied in what? With desires for sense gratification. Okay? So, solution is that our mind and consciousness should be fully engaged in Krishna's service. So one particular point mentioned in this verse is very, very, very significant. And what is that? That it is said here that prasaktam asatam pati. The mind is always attracted by asat, the temporary material existence, because we have been associated with the material nature since time immemorial. So we have become accustomed to the mind has to be fixed at the eternal lotus feet of Krishna, the Supreme Lord. So this is the final solution, that one particular point, that prasaktam astampati, the mind is always attracted by asat thing, that means the temporary material things, but because we have been associated with material nature since time immemorial, we have become accustomed to our attachment to this temporary material nature. We are accustomed to be attached. So we cannot figure out when I am attached. Automatically they are accustomed. So the mind has to be fixed at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo. One has to fix the mind at the lotus feet of Krishna, then everything will be very nice. This is the seriousness of Bhakti Yoga, which is stressed in this verse. Okay. Now, so in this 5 shloka, this Jiva's condition and state, about the Jiva's condition and state is explained. Now 6 to 11, how 6 to 11 is the explanation that how jiva attains liberation by jnana. Okay, so this episode we will see tomorrow. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. शिल प्रभुपाद की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय.